Hey guys, welcome to the MC Anime Podcast. We cover anime, geek culture, Japanese aesthetics, and Asian studies. We are a multi-fandom podcast, and you can expect to hear topics in your favorite hobby or fandom activity potentially. You can find MC Anime on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, please check out mcanimepodcast.com, our website. Furthermore, stay tuned in for another episode.
Hey guys, Mason from another segment on MC Anime Podcast and Review. Today we'll be doing another TV show review. Before we get to that, I want to thank you for in-use family entertainment for giving me the opportunity to be a content provider. If you want to be a content provider or watch your favorite content providers on the platform, please go ahead. If you will be an audience member, it's only $3 a month. Please remember that, give you support, and get exclusive content right on the platform for multiple channels, multiple genres, and entertainment for you guys. Further ado, today's episode in this segment is going to be the TV show review of The Magicians. Magicians is interesting. There's a show on Netflix, it was a Netflix original, and tells the story of Quentin Coldwell. He's a grad student at Breakville's College for Magicians. He's been fascinated as a young kid of the idea of magic and the fantasy world that he read in books, but he soon discovers that not only is the place that he read as a child is real, but it also has lots of dangers not told in the original story. So kind of like fairy tales only tell you some of what actually happened, that actually tell you what it actually means. You know, it's not all fancy and pretty like Disney puts it out to be. The grim tales are the original, and it takes a dark twist. That's kind of what the concept here is. Not everything you read in the book should be taken for granted. For the example, not everything is included of the bad guys, magic, colors, dark magic, stuff like that. They had to figure out themselves after the fact. So they kind of become like magic detectives, kind of, in a way. They discover what causes magic to be in flux. They not only give time of day what magic could be, but also research ways to navigate against the enemy, how to beat them, how, creative ways to trap them, to kill them, stuff like that. It's kind of interesting in the ways of the story that develop to find a way to beat. That's the main focus. But there is some side elements that were really cool. For example, you have characters that have multiple, perhaps even, 4 or 5 relationships throughout the seasons. They have go through the enormous struggle. You can relate to them because, you know, they think of negative thoughts. They think of they're not what they do is not enough, or they brace a breaking point of struggle and just bad stuff that just sets them on edge. It's really interesting seeing everything you do has a opposite but equal reaction. If you did this magic spell, it costs you this. However, if you're not, say, capable of doing that spell, you can get transformed to like a Niffin, which is literally your magic being used up to the point you become like a ghost, but a magic ghost. I don't know. You become something that's not yourself anymore. You're basically born alive because you're not powerful enough to cast whatever magic you're using. Or you're using it and you're still not powerful enough to use it, basically. You disappear. And it's a classification of a creature that is no longer human and usually gets sealed in a box. But, that's just one example. The place is called Philip. That's another backwater country that has no development. They solely depend on magic for everything. And we're introduced to one of the main characters that are part of the team, being the High King and stuff like that. And what we see is the High King does this. A backward culture that cannot take back from the Middle Ages, who knows nothing about society, and literally has a farming background in Iowa. And literally teaches them how to farm, how to rule. They get dethroned, come back. There's new rules. There's a time skip. There's a bouncing point of Philly, the school, outside of the school, going back to the school, going back to Philly, using the messenger rabbits to send this message. Please hurry. Philly is in danger. Quickly. I think my favorite message of the rabbits is when instead of, a pregnancy test in the real world, in Philly, all you have to do is a rabbit, and they'll tell you, pregnant, pregnant. And they have this like deep voice. And it's kind of funny when you first get introduced to the rabbits. Rabbits can jump between worlds very easily, making them a really good messenger pigeons, except the rabbits. And they sound like they have a hoarse throat or a frog in their throat. I don't know. They have a very deep voice. So, yeah, it's Philly. Anything can happen at any time. Got talking bears. They are able to give consent. They are intelligent animals. You have a chaos god and a order god. And it's just a bunch of it's like backward, but also makes sense, but it's also Philly. And the term, it's Philly. Expect it whenever it is kind of what happens in that world. They're like it has logic, but then it shows you that it's completely crazy and random. And it just does the random stuff and the traditions and customs is so well interested. Sometimes those customs come backfire the main characters and they have to like get out of the situation caused by the weird custom. Like, I don't know. We had to make a promise to be High King to make this weapon that is forged to kill the beast. Oh, but I have to marry them into royal blood. You have this promise to make a knife, but in return, you have to give them something about royal blood marriage. And years later, they have to marry such person, and they have to deliver on the promise because the time in Philly is a lot faster than Earth. They could be a couple of days, but it could have been months on Philly. So when you really look at the time span, is a lot quicker. But not many shows like The Magicians have an entirely different circumstance of new worlds. But it's kind of overlapping theme at this point of new world. You have the library, the order, this realm with Philly, pocket dimension, travel here, travel there, worlds of gray and black. We even have a traveler on the team who can literally jump between memories, vast different worlds, different realms. It's very interesting how it's set up. It's just crazy enough to keep you on your toes. And also, it's not PG. It actually plays onto the horror of magic. It's MA for a reason. Mature audiences, nudity, language, violence. You know, they don't tame the death at all. It's pretty gruesome at times. People burning alive because of magic overuse, or beheadings on film. They don't cut off. They actually see the head in the actual cutting in the scene. uh, pretty was a lot of viewer discretion. Suicide, rape, uh, um, death. There's a lot of serious topics that need to be loaded and talked about. It brings a sense of realness to the show. It connects with characters and it has these different plot points that not always can be comprehended, but you have to pay attention. Each season of The Magicians is about 13 episodes. There's 5 total seasons in total. But at the end of the day, Quentin and the team has to basically battle the forces at hand. And sometimes, like season 2, season 3, you actually see the consequence of the previous season. So now they had to be in a world with the consequences of fixing this problem, so they let another problem take its place, kind of thing. So it's really a parallel of we did this, we achieved it. However, we have another problem. Like, for example, they kill a god, magic formulas come in and shut off all the magic. They go on a quest to restore all the magic with 7 keys. They do that, the library takes over. The order, now they control magic. Now we have the problem of, I don't know, an organization that only gives you some magic, but using extra magic. Where we had this the nameless problem to escape from the castle, which released from the keys. And then in the fourth season, we had the wellspring, which is literally the definition of magic. The entire time, magic is always in flux, in danger, or something going on. Like fourth season, wellspring is like almost taken out to the point it's low. Very, the danger of magic could be destroyed. That comes to reality. The main character has been drinking the entire time, drained it to the point where it's hard to, come back. Oh, let's see. We fixed the wellspring problem by making a deal with fairies. However, you have to give up the royalty queen has to give up the child and raise it as a fairy instead of a human. You know, there's like that's a perfect example. Magic comes with a price, and the price we're going to pay for it has lasting consequences. That is part of the theme of the show. So at some point, either magic is being threatened, we have no magic at all. Now we have magic fixed. However, we are restricted to how much we can use by this organization. And then we basically, oh, wait, organization's done. So now we can have the magic back, right? However, too much magic is not a problem. Now we have all these situations happening because there was too much magic in the world. So it kind of goes back to the fact of, you know, those new circumstances for magic. You have to fix it. There's surges, there's blackouts, burnouts. There's not enough magic. There's really too much magic. It really comes down to how it's portrayed because there is different storylines within each episode. There's like 2 or 3 that we see of like focus on characters, like Quentin and Alice have their storyline. Then we see like Joy's introduction without being at the college, Hope finding her path as a head witch, and then she goes out of the head witch, realizes it's not what they want, finds her own path, you know, Tyro building point of, oh, and now I'm a powerful being. Now I'm not. Now I'm human. Now I'm back to using magic. I can't use magic, kind of thing. Quentin, Quentin's lucky because he's that main character. He's not always so powerful, but has main people around him to support him. Like the entire team is Penny, the traveler. Alice, the metamath magic scholar. Quentin, the pure believer of magic. Goya, the independent person who does their own magic but helps the team. Then we have Margot, the one who's the warrior. Elliot, who's the social drinker, but bartender who can, I don't know, it's anyway. And then you also go into another character who's like had a bad history, who's a traitor, who's a Judas, had a redemption arc, and the dean, the librarian. Like there's these different characters that keep getting introduced, and it's just like, oh, I gotta go to this person for a deal. Oh, they're not gonna like me. The last time we got on the wrong foot. I'm able to help you, however, you need to figure out how to do this. There's always so like, but you have to do this to do this. So it's kind of interesting seeing the development of not only do they have to find the person, they give them the information, but what do they want in return to give to help them? And to be honest, there's not a lot of good people like in the show. Most people are just out for themselves. What have they have to gain or to help you type of thing? It's always not so cut and dry on, oh, we do this, you get this. Sometimes you get this, but they can still betray you, and then you have to deal with it at the end. So it's not always exactly the perfect solution, but that's why it works so well in the show. In my opinion, it's what the show is all about. Magic is something that even if you fix it, there's always going to be something else that comes back in its place. They're either similar or worse to what it was before. So when you think about it, that's how it goes. But overall, Magicians is a good show. 7.5 out of 10. Parallel plot points and characters. There's multiple interests for the characters to explore, how they're going to be, and overall, what is going to happen is a mystery. And just seeing the inner workings of fantasy built with the school plus going back and forth of the different storytelling is what the show's about. And this includes a segment of podcast and review provided by NU Streaming Entertainment. So that's it. Hope this was good. If you're a believer of magic, school, academy, different worlds, fantasy, stuff like that, give it a try. Supernatural is a big part. Intelligent animals also plays a part. Spells and magic not always being the cost and the effect can definitely be something that was watching depending on the audience, how you receive it. With that, that is Mason signing off. Enjoy your day.
This concludes another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC Anime Podcast is available on podcast directories like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We also have our website at mcanimepodcast.com. If you want to directly support us, then follow Patreon blog MC Anime. Finally, if you want services for hire, then we're available on Fiverr for audio and video production, graphic design, idea consulting, and blog and article writing.